If you'll all please rise for the presentation of our colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. We have a huge crowd this morning. Thank you all for taking the time out of your day to join us at our annual Veterans Day program. My name is Mike Jacobs. I'm the Career and Activities Coordinator here at Northwest State. And again, thank you for joining us on this very special day. My father and grandfather were both Navy veterans, and my son served for 5 years in the United States Army. It's an honor to be here before all of our veterans, and we are all humbled by your service. Again, thank you. So we celebrate Veterans Day to set aside to thank and honor all who have served, living and deceased, but particular the living veterans among us. Veterans fought for our freedoms and risked their lives whether or not we realized it or appreciated it. Without the service of you as veterans, we would not be here and enjoy the freedoms that we have today. I'd like to introduce the president of Northwest State Community College, Dr. Todd Hernandez. Todd is a native of Northwest Ohio and a 1989 graduate of Napoleon High School. He holds a doctorate of information technology from Walden University and currently serves as the 8th president of Northwest State Community College. He joined the Northwest State team in 2010 and has served as training coordinator, chief information officer, vice president for innovation, and executive vice president. He also served as a nuclear-trained surface warfare officer in the United States Navy for 8 years, from 1991 to 1999. After completing Officer Candidate School and the Nuclear Power Training Program, Todd was assigned to the USS South Carolina out of Norfolk, Virginia, as part of the George Washington Battle Group. He was later assigned to the Nuclear Power Training Unit in Charleston, South Carolina, as a shift engineer and the Chemical and Radiological Controls Assistant. Among other service medals, Todd was awarded 2 Navy Commendation Medals, a Navy Achievement Medal, and the Armed Forces Expeditionary Service Medal. Dr. Hernandez has a strong commitment to helping people and strengthening community and feels very grateful to be here at Northwest State Community College. Please help me welcome Todd Hernandez.
Morning, everyone. I'd like to just say thanks for coming to Northwest State and welcoming you here to our college. Before I get into, and I won't speak long, but before I talk anymore, I'd like to have all of our veterans stand for recognition. All right, thank you. So this is the 5th year that we're having this luncheon in this format. I'm wondering how many are here for the first time? Wow. It's a good number. I like that. I'd also like to say that you came to the right one. This is the first luncheon where we actually have a Navy man speaking. So it'll be good. Go Navy. No, in all seriousness, it's a serious event, but it's also a fun event. I'm very grateful that we're able to do this for the community, do it for the veterans, to invite you to our college. Northwest State is very committed to our community, and to have you here and celebrate this day with us, it's very special to me. With that, we'll just get on with eating lunch, if that's all right with everyone, and then we'll get into the program. Thank you.
I was pretty sure he was going to do that with the Navy presenter, so again, thank you. Yep, a lot of pride there for sure. So I know that Dr. Hernandez just had all of our veterans stand and be recognized, so again, thank you for that. I do want to point out one veteran we have in particular. Walt Guthrie, are you here? You can raise your hand if you feel like standing up, you're welcome to. Please give a big round for Walt. He will be 99 in January, and we are thrilled to have him here again. Thank you again for making the trip. We really appreciate that, Walt. All right, so I have a few things that I want to talk about before we do get into lunch. We have a few honorary displays to my right up here on the stage. And you may have heard about these honorary displays before, but I'd just like to remind you of their significance. The first is our POW chair. And this chair of honor is a simple yet extremely powerful reminder of those who served in the military but have not yet returned home. Totaling more than 82,000 U.S. service personnel since World War II, this empty chair will serve as an instant reminder of all of the sacrifices made for our country by those still missing. We also have our POW MIA table setting. This small table is set for one, representing the frailty of one prisoner alone against his or her suppressors. The table is round, showing our everlasting concern for our POW MIAs. The cloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. The single red rose, signifying the blood they may have shed in sacrifice to ensure the freedom of our beloved United States of America. This rose, reminding us of the family and friends of our missing comrades who keep the faith while awaiting their return. The yellow ribbon stands for the yellow ribbons worn on the lapels of thousands who demanded, with unyielding determination, a proper accounting for our comrades who are not among us today. A slice of lemon reminds us of the bitter fate of those missing, captured, and held as prisoners in foreign lands. A pinch of salt denoting the tears of our missing and the families who long for answers after decades of uncertainty. The Bible represents strength gained through faith in our country, founded as one nation under God to sustain those lost from our midst. The lighted candle reflects the light of hope, which in our hearts to illuminate their way home, away from their captors, to the open arms of a grateful nation. The glass is inverted, symbolizing their inability to share with us today. Let us remember and never forget their sacrifices. Please join me in honoring them in a moment of silence. Thank you. With our invocation before our lunch, I'd like to bring up Chaplain Eddie Harris. Eddie is the chaplain for the American Legion 454 in Ridgeville Corners and is a veteran himself. Please welcome to the stage Chaplain Eddie Harris.
Again, thank you so much for each and every veteran that is here today. And to the ones that couldn't be here today, may God bless them also and their families. Let us bow our heads. Dear gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, I thank you once again for your many, many blessings. Lord, I thank you for each and every individual here, Lord, that has served our country, Lord. You bless each and every one of them, their families, and Lord, be with the ones that are serving here today, Lord, here and abroad. Lord, I pray that you would just bless them also. Lord, bless America again. These ask most precious holy name. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
All right. I'd like to bring up Tina May. She is our local musician and an alum of Northwest State Community College. She's going to play some background music while we head to lunch. I'm going to let her get up here and get settled here for just a quick second.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only that we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stay by me. Won't you stand now? Stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon crumble and fall, or the mountain should tumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Won't you stand now? Stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should crumble and fall, or the mountain should tumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Won't you stand now? Stand by me. Stand by me. Whenever you're in trouble, won't you stand by me? Oh, stand by me. Won't you stand now? Stand by me. Stand by me.
All right, I know you're still eating, but I'd love a big round of applause for Tina May. I do want to mention, I think I had said that Tina is a graduate of Northwest State, but just also wanted to let you know that she is deeply influenced by her family's strong musical roots and performs both as a solo artist and with her siblings and children, continuing a cherished family tradition of music that spans generations. You may have seen her perform. Has anybody gone to the Christmas performances of Siberian Solstice? Has anybody heard of Siberian Solstice? Tina May is a member of that band, so you can check her out this holiday season. They perform songs that are in the spirit of Trans-Siberian Orchestra, I think. So anyways, thanks again, Tina. We're going to get started with our main speaker real quick, but again, I want to remind all of our veterans that are here today that we do have a really nice parting gift for you. On your way out, at the end of our program, we have Proud Veteran Lives Here yard signs, so make sure that you pick yours up on your way out, just as like a token of our appreciation. So again, thank you. If you are still eating, and I know a few of you are, thanks so much for your patience with such a large group this year. It took us just a little bit longer to get through the lunch line, but we'd rather have it that way than an empty room. So. All right, it gives me great pleasure to bring up our guest speaker today. Captain Barry Bainfelt of the United States Navy is a 1979 graduate of Napoleon High School and a 1983 graduate of Bowling Green State University. Upon entering college in September of 1979, he had already completed his private instrument and commercial ratings and was a certified flight and ground instructor. After graduation from BGSU Aviation, he joined the United States Navy and following training was assigned to fly the FA-18 Hornet. During Barry's 17 years of flying duty, he accumulated over 3,000 hours in the FA-18 and was a graduate of the United States Navy Fighter Weapons School, also known as Top Gun, and a graduate of the United States Navy Test Pilot School. He retired from the U.S. Navy as a captain in 2014 after over 30 years of service and is currently serving as a captain on the Airbus A350 for Delta Airlines based in Detroit, Michigan. Please help me welcome to the stage Captain Barry Bainfelt.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, what a pleasure to be here. Got to figure out how I'm going to work the logistics here. I'm going to get in front of this, not too much. A couple administrative things I'd like to say. It makes me feel welcome having my Ridgeville family back here at the Ridgeville table. Thanks for being here, Ridgeville. Adopted family. I'm actually a McClure Legion guy, but this is my adopted home here in Ridgeville. American Pie, great song. It brought memories of drunken sailors in Benidorm, Spain on a Liberty call, all of us singing at the top of our lungs and spang American Pie. And my lastly, thanks President Hernandez for putting this event on. It's awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. It's a great vibe that Jenny and I have got here, and I'm sure everybody else has as well. So keep doing what you're doing. And I know it wouldn't be possible if it wouldn't be the people that are around you, Katrina and Megan, Bat, wherever she is. Megan had the opportunity, or I had the opportunity to fly Megan and 3 of her other friends to Port Clinton one day to get breakfast. A lot of giggling was going on in my little airplane, let me tell you. So anyway, with that logistics aside, I should have tailored my presentation maybe a little bit better to you got to know your audience when you're giving a presentation. I expected there to be a little less non-veterans here. But it's awesome that there's this many veterans, and some of this might be redundant to you. It's a little bit about my journey, but for non-veterans, you might get a little bit of insight into the world of a veteran. So here we go. So this is me. Little star there, McClure, Ohio, is where I was born and raised. Went to Napoleon High School and got my private pilot's license out there at the Henry County Airport. And after high school, I went to Bowling Green State University. So my life consisted of waking up at mom and dad's, heading to Bowling Green to school, driving to the airport, going to mom and dad's to sleep, Bowling Green State University, airport, mom and dad's, So for 4 years, that was my life, and then a girlfriend in Napoleon. But anyway, that's kind of where I was going all those years. Then after that, graduated from college. These are my 4 squadrons: VFA 137 and the F-18, VFA test pilot school, and a test pilot there in the bottom left, dropping bombs and doing test pilot stuff. VFA 83 was my last active duty squadron, and then VFA 204 was the squadron that I had command of in New Orleans. So, Everyone who joins the military takes an oath of enlistment, and it's, I, Barry Bainfelt, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me according to the regulation and the Uniform Code of Military Justice, so help me God. So officers take it once, enlisted. They do it every contract that comes up. You know, you'll do a re-enlistment ceremony, and I've done a whole bunch of re-enlistment ceremonies in my time, and it always sticks with me every time I gave that oath to a shipmate. And what does it mean? You know, that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Well, I just so happen to bring my library copy of the Constitution of the United States, and you know, it's a big document that you got to go through to find out how this government's run. Anybody think this is the actual Constitution? No, this is my cruise book from the USS Coral Sea. This is the Constitution. It's 9 pages, printed front and back. You can see the font isn't tiny micro font either. There's not a whole lot to it, but this is what governs us. You know, it's that we the people thing, and the legislative, the executive, and the judicial branch of the government on how we form ourselves as Americans, and what we that take the oath are to support and defend the Constitution right here. It's paper, but it's our way of life as Americans, right? And there it is in parchment form. So after you take that oath, there comes times, and all of us probably have had to serve to do a deployment, to leave home. I mean, that's part of what the military does, right? And you're going to get that, you know, when little kids are like, Dad, why do you have to be gone for so long? And I can remember, and it was 1996, around February-ish of 1996, I was getting ready to leave on a deployment, and my little 5-year-old Megan asked her dad, why do you have to be gone for so long? And we were getting ready to head to the east and go into the Mediterranean. We were going to do, it was Operation Joint Endeavor. This is the Bosnia deal that was going on where they were, you know, the Kurds and all that stuff was going on, bombing their people. And they had stopped the bombing, and we were there in a no-fly zone enforcement mission. So we were operating in the Adriatic Sea and flying over Croatia into Bosnia, carrying bombs, and just there making jet noise, basically, and making sure that nobody was going to fly or do anything bad to their people on the ground. And so I explained to my daughter that, you know, we're kind of like a policeman. You know, there are operations around the world where we feel a connection with the countries that we want to protect, and I am the protector. I'm the policeman that goes over there to make sure that people act the way that they're supposed to act. And as a veteran that served, that's what we do, right? It's either go to combat like World War II vets and the Vietnam vets and go and actually pulling triggers, but sometimes it's just keeping peace and making jet noise to keep people on the ground so they're not doing bad things. This came full circle with me in September 2021. Jenny and I went up to Mackinac Island for our anniversary, and we're having lunch in a restaurant, and this gal came walking up, and she had Bosnia on her name tag. And I asked, and she was about 30 years old, about the age of my daughter, and I said, "You're from Bosnia?" And she said, "I am." I said, "So, well, how long have you been here?" And she'd been here like maybe 5 years or something like that. She grew up in Bosnia. I said, "So do you remember like when things," she said, "Oh yeah, I remember when things weren't good." And so here is my first time coming face to face with someone that actually my jet noise might have helped and kept things safe for this young lady that was alive and well today and able to, you know, continue on. So it was an interesting moment for sure. But how do you know? So now you take this oath to support and defend the Constitution, and that really means does it mean to the death? Will you give your life for your country? I mean, how did I know as a kid driving up and down Route 6 and I raise my right hand and take my oath and go off to, training and doing this stuff am I going to be able to do what it takes? I mean, when the time comes, and maybe a lot of you have had that sense or whatever, but it came to me that I knew that I could. This is this survival, evasion, resistance, and escape, SEER training. This is in Brunswick, Maine. Anybody been through SEER training in the room? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So you know what I'm talking about when I describe this. It says set up a scenario. The first part of it is it's a week-long school. The first part is survival. You go out and you live off the land and you build, places where you can shelter and for the night. And the last night in that survival deal, they've got bad guys that are walking around looking at your shelter and basically grading them. If they don't meet muster, you're probably going to get pulled out and put into the prisoner of war camp right then. If they're adequate, they're going to let you stay that night, maybe, and underneath those leaves and branches and stuff until the next day when you get your navigation exercise. And eventually, though, everybody gets caught, and they're put into a camp. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on there. There's a lot of mental warfare that goes on. You're sleep deprived, you're food deprived, you're getting slapped upside of the face and thrown in the corner and smoke blown in your face to you nearly passing out and all that stuff. And at the end of the exercise, we're out in the compound, and we were building a helicopter pad for the helicopters that were going to come in there and do whatever for the bad guys. Breaking stones out of this was in November in Brunswick, Maine, so the ground was starting to get froze. In the cold, breaking stones out, moving rocks around and that kind of stuff. And just kind of in the scenario. And next thing you know, our senior officer goes running across the compound with an American flag draped around him, yelling, "Save the flag, save the flag." And without hesitation, every person in that camp jumped up and went running to the flag. And that day changed me as an American. You can see it. The machine guns started firing, went off, like they were going to shoot us because we're saving the flag. Didn't matter. There were blanks. It was a training exercise, but mentally, everybody kept going towards the flag. Didn't matter about the machine guns. The next thing that happened, and a 50-star flag fell from a guard tower, and the national anthem started to play, and just the next instant, we stopped running to the flag, stopped, faced the flag into a position of attention while the national anthem played. And there weren't very many dry eyes there in the compound that day. And I think that was the moment for me when I knew that I would go to the death to defend this country and what we stand for. So that's a little of my story, my veterans time. I will back up. I didn't say one thing I was going to at the beginning. President Hernandez was one of the smart Navy guys. He went to the nuclear power program. You had to be really smart to go into that deal. Mine, I walked into my recruiter. I had a 3.0 grade point average and a degree to learn how to fly at Bowling Green State University. And the recruiter says, well, that's okay. You don't have to be really smart to be a fighter pilot. You just got to be quick. So I had that. But Todd was one of the smart guys that got selected to go do that nuclear power stuff. So this is kind of a segue into my current life that I've done, and it goes into a veterans program that I'll talk about a little bit here that I'm connected with. So people know about the 48 and 48 Guinness World Record thing, maybe that know, yeah, some of you do, a lot of you do. So this is a nonprofit that I created 2 years ago, and this is a little bit of that journey. So this is the route of flight that we flew. I set this route up. Each dot is a new airport in another state. And the goal was to land in all 48 contiguous states in a record time And our goal was to do it in 48 hours, thus 48 in 48 is what it was. We did it actually in 44 hours and 13 minutes to make it around there. And in that, we set a Guinness World Record. So if you go into Guinness and look that up, you'll see our picture still to this day in there that we set a Guinness World Record. Yay. Yeehaw. Whoopee. And to me, really, at this point, who cares? It's a web page in a book or something that has a Guinness World Record. Unique, but not very inspiring. So you need more than just having a world record in a book, right? So I created 3 pillars for our success at 48 and 48, and that's to promote, inspire, and to give. And those are what we live by. So the promotion scheme I worked in, I landed in the busiest airport in the world, Atlanta Hartsfield Airport, which I'm used to flying into as a Delta pilot, so it doesn't intimidate me. But why, if you're setting a Guinness World Record, would you land at the busiest airport in the world? Well, Delta got on board and they helped me with my promotion scheme to promote out what we were kind of fighting for in our veterans organization. And this is a page that they put out to their Delta News Hub, which is millions of subscribers to this deal. And this is one that they did. They talked about this VAC. And you'll see this picture again. I'll talk more about it. But they were instrumental and getting our message out on what we were doing and getting people excited and maybe informed about this VAC thing. The next pillar is to inspire, and this is inspire the next generation of pilot. And this is little old Coffeyville, Kansas, about population 9,000, about the size of Napoleon, Ohio. They've got a small county airport just like we have at Napoleon, Ohio, that a lot of people don't even know that we have an airport in Napoleon, Ohio. But we were pulling into this airport, just supposed to get a signature on a form, take a picture of them in front of the airplane so that we could validate with Guinness that we were there for record keeping, and then on our way, on the ground about 7 to 8 minutes. Very quick stop because we're setting a record, right? We pulled into Coffeyville that night, 11:30 at night on a Monday night, and this is what I saw. I was flying. And there's about 50 people standing out there on the ramp at 11:30 at night with kids, parents, all out there. And I'm like, we can't just do a quick stop here. We got to shut down and talk to the people of Coffeyville, Kansas. So we did. We turned it into a fuel stop. We shut down because the other stops, we didn't even turn the motor off. We just sat there and idled while we got our signatures. So we shut down. We got out of the airplane, and we spent our time with the people of Coffeyville, Kansas. And there were these 2 cute little girls that were there. And these other people, and I let them sign the side of the airplane with a Sharpie pen. They were so excited that we were there. And I had some T-shirts in the back of the airplane that I brought along. I was going to hand them out along the way. And as we're there, I thought, T-shirts. Went back to the baggage compartment, pulled the T-shirts out. There's about 30 of them in there. And they were gone in 30 seconds or less. I mean, it was like chum in the water in a shark feeding frenzy. These shirts were going all, and they were gone, but it was okay. And then the next thing, you got these little girls come up with their shirt. Would you sign our T-shirt? No, kid, we're setting a Guinness World Record here. I don't have time to sign your T-shirt. Of course, we signed her T-shirt and her friend's shirt and whoever else brought their shirt up. I planned on 18 minutes for fuel stops, which is pretty aggressive, is quick. This took us about 45 minutes to get through here. And the record didn't matter really at that point, right? It's about, affecting these people and giving them a great experience. And so the next day, this little girl's mom, it was great meeting you all. My girls were so excited. Holly asked again if you would all come back tomorrow. Olive not only wants to be a chiropractic ballerina, which, do you have that program here at Northwest State? Okay. I was really kind of confused when I read that, but I guess it's an actual thing that they have chiropractors for ballerinas because of their specialized art that they have. But thanks to Barry, she's added pilot to her list of what she wants to be when she grows up. And that's exactly what we wanted to do. This falls right into our pillar of success of inspiring the next generation of pilot. The last pillar is to give. I knew right off, early on in the process, that I was going to raise more money above the expenses for the trip. I had one gentleman that gave us his credit card and said, this is all your fuel for the trip. So that was all covered, which is the biggest expense. So, and with the support I was getting of people wanting to donate to the cause, I need to create a nonprofit here. So I created a nonprofit, got a 501c3 with the IRS, and we needed to partner with somebody to where we could give this money away to. So one of my team members had done a flight for this Veterans Airlift Command, and it's an organization that provides cost-free private air transportation for combat wounded veterans for their medical and compassion needs. So there's about 2,000 pilots that are registered across the country with their pilot credentials and their airplane. And when a combat wounded veteran has a need to go from point A to point B for their medical or compassion need, they contact the VAC, and the VAC puts it out to their network of pilots. A pilot sees it and said, I'll go get him. Picks him up at his local county airport, easier than driving all the way to Detroit or wherever. Picks him up at his local county airport, flies them where they need to go, gets them back home, no cost to the veteran. It's just a lot easier deal. This is our stop in Frederick, Maryland. Again, I was planning on 18-minute stops. And the president of the Veterans Airlift Command, who I had fostered a relationship with at this point, said, hey, I see you guys are landing at Frederick. Would you like lunch there? I'm like, well, sure. We were getting low on food in the airplane. It was our last fuel stop. He sent me a number of a gentleman, his cell number, so I texted our Subway order to this person I'd never met before, Adam. And Adam shows up at the airport with his Subway bag to bring us lunch. Adam is an advisory board member for the Veterans Airlift Command. He's a Marine, served in Iraq, and one day he was walking patrol, and next thing you know, he wakes up in the hospital with no left arm or right leg from that improvised explosive device that took a piece of him. But he's with us. So Adam brought us our lunch, and so we spent more than 18 minutes at Frederick, Maryland, too, so that we could share some time with him. Again, right into our mission. And Adam actually is a certified FAA certified pilot. He got a statement of demonstrated ability is he's supposed to have two arms to fly airplanes, but he demonstrated to the FAA in a check ride that he could fly an airplane with one arm, and he flies himself. These are just some other pictures. The left picture is Walt Fricke. He's the president of the Veterans Airlift Command, and he's a Vietnam Huey pilot, flew Huey helicopters, flew the smoke mission, flew the assault mission, and also troop insertion in the Hueys, and got shot down. I was going to say he shot himself down, which he in essence did. They fired a rocket one day when he was in a gunship. They were doing a troop insertion. They were clearing the landing area, and as soon as the rocket came out of the pod, it went off high order right underneath the chin of the helicopter, and dang near blew his foot off his leg. They were able to save it, but so he's a combat wounded veteran from Vietnam. So he has a visceral response to this mission that VAC provides, and a wonderful human being. This was at their last year event. They have an annual event that they do to kind of celebrate their mission, and combat wounded veterans are asked to come in and be guest speakers at the event. And we're actually leaving as soon as I'm finished here. We're driving out to the Henry County Airport and flying to New Orleans in my airplane for their annual banquet that they're having this weekend down in New Orleans. And 48 and 48 will be presenting them with the check this year for $40,048, $40,048.48. Little play on 48 and 48 there. But in the 3 years of fundraising that we've done, we've just went over $100,000 to support their mission of providing the transportation. So that's the 48. Thank you. So how do we make this? And this is kind of where this whole thing wraps all around. we have an open house every year at the Henry County Airport. Some of you, I know, have been out there to it. I appreciate that. But we give airplane rides all day, and we have food trucks, and everything at the airport that day is a free will donation. And my target audience are clients that are about this tall, right? Because I want parents and grandparents to bring their kids out there and get them in an airplane if they've never been in one before, and maybe go on their first airplane ride to light that spark. So that's the Inspire piece that we're promoting the airport out there. We're inspiring the kids to fly, and the free will donation that people are given to make that happen goes to the Veterans Airlift Command. So it's been a really cool thing to watch how the synergy is all kind of tied together in this deal. So, and with that, I salute everyone that stood up tonight, today, for your service. And with that, there's always somebody beside you that was there watching the washing machine break and the refrigerator break while we were gone on deployments and all that stuff. It always happens when you leave, right? But there's a lot that goes on back home watching the kids and stuff while we were out. I was out having fun, making noise over Bosnia and Iraq and that kind of stuff. But it takes a special person back home to keep everything glued together. So thank you all. And thank you for everything. Thanks for your time.
Another big round of applause for Barry, please. All right, we just have a couple more quick things to do before we end our program. We do have a raffle and a little sing-along we're going to do. Excellent. So we are going to do, as promised, a little sing-along. The words to God Bless America are on the back of the program. If you want to join Tina as she starts to play, we'll sing this song, and then we'll do pictures, and then you can go home and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
God bless America.
Oh yeah, you could stand for this maybe, if you want, if you're able. That way you can really belt it out.
It's in a male key. I did that on purpose.
Yes, we're in a lower key, so get your bass
help me
voices
out.
going. Go for it.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night, from the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. From the mountains to the prairies, from the ocean white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Thank you, everybody.
Fantastic.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Barry. Thanks, everyone who made today possible. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, we have pictures in the back, and make sure you grab your yard sign on the way out. Have a great Veterans Day.